right, Spirit, my guides, our guides, any being who is 100% light and here for the divine purpose. Please give me the words to say, the wisdom to know what messages to hear, and the correct cards to pull. Subject we are addressing is your love life, I believe, right? Or just a general, whatever spirit wants to bring out. But so we're going to just do a Celtic cross spread, I think. Okay, so it looks like you've got okay, so it looks like you've got some clarity was brought to your awareness. Things were a little bit illuminated for you. However, at the same time, it looks like it's also you ignoring some shadows about yourself. And the idea that you are mirroring somebody else's shadows that are presenting. For what opposes you, it looks like that you're holding hope for something that is not emotionally fulfilling. In regards to somebody who's a little bit immature and who you see as a strong leader, or possibly like you think that he's immature, but he's actually a strong leader. You're not willing to ask for help or to feel like you are needing to seem like you're the one chasing him. You're also not willing to open up your heart space or your emotional space to him. Recent past events, you felt like a real need to cling on to your stability. Recent future events, you're going to have strength and you're going to find that nurturing, loving strength on how to tame the beast. I'm seeing. As for the issues that are significant to you in the present day, you're feeling incapable of moving. It's like you should be like feeling incapable of progress or movement, but in a spiritual way, like where you're just taking time to sit back and reflect and rest. But instead, you're using the time as like feeling stuck, and you're not trusting that divine purpose is happening for you, or like divine timing isn't in play. So you're just like standing still rather than being on pause like you're meant to be. Your emotional balance right now actually seems like you're pretty balanced, which is really awesome. That's different than it was last night. It was actually the opposite of that last night, right? Your the impact of others on you is that you've got a bit of like independence. You're not relying on others to be the reason that you're able to create what you want to create, and to you're not counting on other people to basically like sign your documents, if that makes sense. You're setting out to do it on your own. For your hopes ahead of you, it seems like you're in the playful energy of like chasing your own truth. And for the ultimate outcome of your near future or the future, there's going to be karmic justice served to everybody involved that needs it, for the positive and the negative. Be sure when that happens that you stay, and on the process there, obviously, that you stay fully accountable for anything that you had to do with. And that includes the ability of allowing your heart to heal. Sometimes we keep ourselves from healing. And then also, again, it looks like you're unable to move on from a relationship that you, and it's causing you to feel like you're not successful. But you know what, I do think that you've got there's somebody from your past. I wouldn't say it's the most recent person, but there's somebody from your past that you are meant to be with. Yeah, somebody that you've got childhood memories with. That's coming out again. I don't feel like you know this yet. As of right now, you feel like they aren't somebody that's capable of being like your emperor, you know, but they are going to, in the near future, I believe, step forward to you like they're Prince Charming. And Spirit really wants you to be aware of that and use your intuitive capabilities, and don't allow the past issues or conflicts that you've had before be the reason that you do too much work or like feel overburdened by this situation. You're meant to be happy with this situation. You can manifest it into whatever you want to manifest it into, as long as you don't go into your anxiety. Be very cautious not to go into your anxiety. Allow whoever this person is, and it could be somebody that you've recently come into contact with as well. They don't mean you any harm. I don't feel, I do feel like your own mind is going to make you think that they do. Let them, if they're presenting themselves like they're different, if they're presenting themselves like they are meant for you, or that they would be a good pick for you, trust it and just give it a shot. You've got a very happy union with this person if you allow it. But it really involves you getting over your shadows and you seeing that the cup is half full instead of half empty. But it's almost like the fault of humans to hope and pray that somebody will be able to change one day, you know, wish them to be different or whatnot. And then when the person actually is, or they actually try to be, we don't allow them oftentimes. And it's almost like on purpose, because we are scared of being wrong, maybe. Like, then it would mean that we'd have to look at ourselves and why we haven't changed when we see this other person who may have been damaging to us at some point coming back and presenting themselves as so much different than us. And And it's like, we want them to fail almost, it seems. And I'm sure that almost anybody has been in that type of situation, especially with family or exes or friends. You know, the people that are closest to you, the ones that should really want your best interest in the end, tend to be the ones who, when you try to do something different for them, you know, let's say a guy never opens a door for somebody, right? And then one day he decides, like, you know what, I'm really going to try now. And he goes and he opens the door for them. And then they're like, what did you do? You don't ever do that. No, you must be, you're trying to show off for this person, or, you know. And then the guy gets, like, he feels discredited and disinterested in trying again, you know. Or the person, you know, that is being very loyal to their partner, but they have a very rocky past of cheating with other partners or something, and their current partner, because they're in their shadow energy, decides to be accusing them all the time, or to assume automatically that they are cheating on them. And so then that partner ends up cheating one day because they've been accused for like 5 years or something, you know. Or even worse, they don't ever cheat and they get accused, and the person won't even hear their side of the story. There's also the times, you know, like when the person goes to do something to help somebody or something, and then there's, you know, they get a whole bunch of backlash, like, what do you mean you were doing that? You never do that. You don't do that. I don't believe you, you know, things like that. Like, or let's say somebody had like a drug problem or an alcohol problem, and every time they're around people, they have people like looking over their shoulder, like being suspicious of everything that they do because they can't accept the fact that they got clean. Like, no, they're gonna steal from me. They are. I know it. You know, like, we have to. That's like literally like my most like one of my most passionate like areas in life is allowing people to change. I strongly believe in the Phoenix concept, and I've multiple times combusted my entire life into flames so that I could rebuild it. I am like a self-demolisher of the tower, let's say, because sometimes things just aren't working, and you don't know where, you don't know why, you don't know who isn't working, so you just have to either slowly or quickly get everything in a new perspective and a new outlook and a new direction. And a lot of times too, when it comes to our friends or our families, they don't let us do that. They want to hold on to who you were, and they don't let you change. So sometimes it takes like literally just showing up as a whole nother person one day. And that's okay. And that goes for relationships as well. At times our relationships will slowly start to drift apart, and we don't want to admit it because we think it's a failure. But it's not. It's the farthest thing from a failure. Actually, it's growth. But we are conditioned to think that once we set like our goal onto one person, that is literally all we're allowed to do or have or care about or feel success with, you know. And that's a shame, because if you really love somebody, you should want the best for them, even if that means it's not with that person, you know. Why would you want to see the light in somebody else diminish just because they're not allowed to be their new selves, you know? And vice versa. So I feel like instead of setting a goal on having one relationship that lasts forever, we should set a goal on having one relationship with ourselves to stay happy forever, and be upfront and honest and straightforward and very real and accountable for everything in the meantime, you know. it's not a failure when a relationship doesn't succeed for a certain amount of time. It was a success for the amount of time it lasted. It was an experience. It was a bunch of lessons, I'm sure, and it was a growth exercise. And it was training for the next one that is going to be even closer to your counterpart. I also do believe that people sometimes people are on different paths, even though they're meant for each other. And just because they were on a different journey at the moment does not mean in any way, shape, or form that they won't someday catch up to be on the same journey as you. It also does not mean that you should stall your journey waiting for them, because then they might never catch up because now you are on a different route than what you were meant to be on. So when it comes to relationship compatibility, sometimes it really is the right person, the wrong time. And in those situations, and I feel with any past situation, relationships, another fault of humankind is that we want to break up with people without healing any of the wounds that they inflicted. And so I'm another thing I firmly believe in is couples therapy or couples counseling before you break up. Not so that you stay together. And I say as a couple because both people need to do the healing and the accountability and the understanding. So as a way to break up, therapy as a unit is something I believe in, because it makes no sense to allow yourself to split from somebody hating them or having resentment for them, because then you're going forward with damage that you have self-inflicted by not correcting it in the time that you could have, and also hate in your heart, and also a piece of your heart left behind with that other person, and a piece in your mind left behind with that other person who doesn't have any purpose needing to be in your life anymore. So when we get damaged by people, I feel like it is the healthiest option to actually go and attempt counseling with them so that you both can actually hear each other and heal in the process of leaving. There would be a lot more happy endings and a lot less emotional baggage being carried around by a bunch of people who didn't meet the right partner the very first time that they dated. So if you do have any hatred or resentment in your heart, it would be very wise of you, I feel. And again, I'm channeling, so it would be very wise if you at least personally went to therapy or did personal self-help work or whatnot. But I also do feel that it might be worthwhile asking the person that you had been in a relationship with if they would be willing to do it with you, even if it was like an online thing, because they might be just as damaged and maybe they need to heal too, and maybe it would be something they just don't know to ask. If they're in a current relationship, maybe their partner, do a group session, because otherwise your energy is still affecting their relationship. And I'm not saying this, again, let me make sure that this is clear. I'm not saying this as in a way to get back with the person or a way to save the relationship. What I'm saying it for, because that's the farthest thing from what I'm suggesting, because sometimes people just really need to grow more separately before they can reunite. And then if you happen to reunite later on, then so be it, you know. But in this specific circumstance, I'm talking about people who are already about to break up. The worst that can happen is you guys both get healed and you moved on in the process of doing the therapy and you found better suited counterparts. The best that can happen is that you guys fall back in love in the therapy or after the therapy and you do save the relationship. So of course it is an option to remain in the relationship, but what I'm suggesting it for is with no expectations of remaining in the relationship, with expectations of breaking up, but with goals and expectations of healing first. Yeah, there's somebody from your past. They're coming for you, or they're coming into your awareness again. Whatever triggers you have from this person, reflect on them, pay attention to them, be courteous of them and compassionate of them. Do not judge yourself for having them. Do not judge the other person for inflicting them, because it is not their responsibility to keep you happy and balanced. It is their responsibility to be themselves, 100% true and blue. Whether that be a liar, whether that be a cheater, whether that be a narcissist, whether that be somebody that whines all the time, whether that be the most amazing Prince Charming or Princess Charming that you've ever met. However they truly are as an individual at that point in their life is what their job is to be. That's it. If it's not somebody that you click with, or it's not somebody that you're like that you feel compatible with, then it's your job to be aware of that, reassure yourself of the truth that you know is your truth, and gently and politely exit the exit the experience by being upfront and honest. Not inflict damage on yourself and the other person, deal with a whole bunch of bullcrap that you are miserable dealing with, drag it on for as long as possible, hoping to succeed in it because of a fear that there's nobody else out there. That is not your job. That is not their job. Blame them for not making you happy. Blame them for hurting your feelings. Blame them for doing something, because or deal with them blaming you for those same things. You know, it's not your job or their job to worry about being the thing that makes them happy or makes them feel whole, because we should feel whole already individually. We should feel benefits or like additional happiness or rewards by being with the person that we care about and our friends and our family. We should not ever rely on them to be the ones that make us happy, because it's not their job. All that does is make somebody weighed down with another person's emotions and stress and worries on top of their own, and inflict tons of self-worth issues when they don't understand why it's a big deal, or when they don't want to do whatever it is that they're expected to do, etc. And same with the person who is feeling like they're getting let down all the time. You know, like, it's not anybody's job, but we make it a job all the time. So yeah, as long as you set your standards and your boundaries firmly and you stand by them, that's all you need to worry about. And the right person who is perfectly compatible will be working their way right into that puzzle piece one of these days. So the goal is to make yourself the happiest and the most fulfilled in your individual life as possible, because then you're actually going to be happy when you meet this other person or this counterpart, you know? Um, Needing somebody doesn't have to be actually needing them, I guess. Okay. So that was a long channeling. um, yeah.